one thing that I said about the way that we gonna show forth the way we deal with math is it's gonna be uncensored. It ain't gonna be none of that, holding our, tongue in cheek type shit. It's gonna be math exactly the way that we live it, exactly the way that we spit the shit.
You mean we can't use the word mother jumper? we can't. Can we say mother jumper?
Yeah, you can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed, God.
You can say that. You can say that, and even the interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think that gives a very authentic perspective of the math. You know what I mean? Where it's just real. It's real. You know what I mean? And undiluted, mixed and tampered with in any form and shit. And it's like, people really don't get the raw math like that. They get the watered down type shit.
Why? Well, so God, what's your distinction between raw and watered down?
Watered down is like motherfuckers speaking strategically. Speaking in such a way where, they don't want to come off a certain way to offend certain people, or, they're not really speaking from their heart like that. You know what I mean? It's like you take it to that wisdom knowledge degree, since today is wisdom knowledge. It says, who was the founder of unalike to subtract and alike to tell? It says, an original man who was a scientist by the name of Yaqub, born 20 miles outside of the holy city of Mecca. So, in the year 8,400. So, it's like, a lot of times, people express math 20 miles outside.
Hey, God, let me ask you this question. Pardon yourself, you just sparked the thought. You just sparked the thought right quick. Can you find 8406?
Can I find it?
Wipe yourself, can you find 8406, God?
What you mean by that?
You said born in the year 8,400. Can you find 8406? Bill Coach site be equal.
What you mean, could I find that?
Can you find it in the math?
What, as far as like 120?
Wipe yourself.
Oh, take it to the wisdom degree.
I was just fucking with you. I knew you were gonna pick that up, God.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You gotta be blind to see that. You gotta be blind to see that equality degree and that wisdom.
Yeah. So it's like 20 being outside, 20 being symbolic to the truth. A lot of people don't express the math truly because they are objective from the center of the shit. Or Mecca meaning the root of civilization, The root of civilization is where knowledge and wisdom, the original man started when the planet was first founded. So you look at knowledge and wisdom, that's like love. So that's symbolic to the heart. So a lot of motherfuckers ain't coming from their heart. They usually 20 miles outside of the shit and trying to speak diplomatically and objective and everything else.
Well, I think when I think diplomatically, when I think of the math diplomatically and strategically, to me, that's shielding a dirty religion. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit ain't a fucking about diplomacy. You feel me? It's not fucking about diplomacy. Shit is about knowledge, wisdom, cipher, supreme alphabets, and supreme mathematics. God ain't take no fucking restrictive laws out the fucking mosque. You feel me? Shit, Allah took knowledge, wisdom, cipher out. He drew up supreme alphabet and supreme math. So, that was a wrap. You know what I mean? It's a lot of cats, on some filthy affair shit, shielding a fucking dirty religion. And you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you the best part of what this shit is, as far as like how my enlightened born math to me. He taught me to carry the shit by myself first. You know what I mean? You got to carry this by yourself. You gotta be in a they say oh God, you ain't come to Mecca for the show and prove or some shit like that. Shit, if I was fucking in the rainforest by my motherfucking self, I'm Allah. You acknowledge me? Wherever the Father you see King, I'm at on the planet Earth, period. You know what I mean? And the fact avocation is peace. Avocation, mad peace. I ain't got no problem advocating no society, God. Word.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you something. That knowledge cipher degree tell you it's culture devils. Everybody got culture devils to deal with. Shit. You feel me? Everybody got culture devils to deal with. And, so, you know, you put people in the room, that factor gonna multiply. You put understanding people in the room, you got knowledge, wisdom devils in the room. Like that. So with that comes the politics, it comes shielding your dirty religion, it comes filthy affairs.
And you know what, too, God? It's like, it's fine if that's many devils in the room and the motherfuckers could identify it.
Indeed.
But it's a completely different story if motherfuckers is up in the room with these devils and they not even cognizant of the things that they struggling and dealing with, because now it becomes some blame somebody else fucking game.
Knowledge, understanding, born what is his own self. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you, you know, what is his own self deal with the science of not bullshitting yourself with this. And see, that's knowledge yourself in general. It's to take a look at who you is. And that's the whole knowledge understanding is a degree that holds up a mirror. You know what I mean? Because the what part is substantive. See, the knowledge degree and the knowledge cipher ask who. So it's asking for like an identity type of thing. You know, who. But knowledge and understanding equality is so peace because it's what is his own self. It's an internal doctoral examination of qualification and disqualification of what's going on inside. You feel me? And so, all right, you say, well, you know, the God Emblem, he egotism. He got egotism. But you know what? I know everybody is. But the thing is, I know where my ego is in the room, God.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? I know the distinction between, because the ego can get away from you. You know what I mean? Ego have you thinking you that shit. Period. Ego thinks he's the piece with the magnetic in it. God knows he's the piece with the magnetic in it. That's the distinction. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And go ahead, God. Pardon yourself. Go ahead.
You relate that master degree in the 1 to 36 to the master degree in the 1 to 40, but brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. So when it comes down to you acknowledging your own self, ain't no fucking buts about it. Because as soon as you say but, it's going to bring some bullshit behind it. Whether it's rain, hail, snow, or earthquakes. And the motherfuckers that on shit like that continue daily to teach that all they see and hear comes from some mystery God that no one will be able to see until they die. And this is believed by the motherfuckers that they keep around them that's going to validate their ego. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, taking that type of knowledge itself, it's like, it ain't no buts about it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And a lot of motherfuckers don't really want to acknowledge that shit.
Yeah, I do see how you do it. Then knowledge, understand, knowledge goes cipher. I do see that, man. Like yourself, that's clear as that.
Ain't no but.
Like yourself, that whole thing.
They were born universal truth.
They continue daily to see the 85% of all they see and hear. Yeah, it's like yeah, that's some straight bullshit. VI square right there, God. Word is mom. I'm seeing that, man, too. You threw that up.
Because it's sleight of hand and shit. It's smoky fucking mirrors.
Listen, I got this egotistical word, God. You gotta hear this egotistical word. I just gotta add this shit on. I was in the middle of this one law case one time, and you just said the term sleight of hand. It's a word called prestidigitation. It flow like that in the middle. It's prestidigitation. I fucked it up. It's prestidigitation. And it's like, yo, it's a sleight of hand. That's the whole science of the sleight of hand, God. Just to add that on. Go ahead, God. Keep on part stuff.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation, like yourself. It's sleight of hand. It's like on some fraudulent shit. And I think if you look at the word prestidigitation or sleight of the hand, you find that shit and keeps us apart from their own social equality. Because they don't want us to find out how filthy it is and all their affairs. You know what I mean? He's afraid that when we learn about him, you know, and so repeat that. When we learn about him, we busted this motherfucker, he a fraud. When we learn about him, you seen him. And then we gonna do what? We gonna run him. running from amongst us, taking you straight to the culture degree. But then slide on down to the power, and that shit say like, yo, shield their dirty religion. They used his name to shield their dirty religion. Prestidigitation.
Yeah,
you feel me?
It's also, no doubt, it's also like some straw man shit.
Wipe yourself.
Like, it's this concept called a straw man, where a motherfucker that you getting into a debate with them or something like that, they build a straw man. They redirect the whole conversation to some whole other bullshit and beat up on the straw man and sit there and act like they actually, you know, showed and proved whatever they were sitting there trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you take it back to that power degree and shit, where it talks about they use his name, still the dirty religion, which is called Christianity. It's like what they did is, you know, Yahshua, or so-called Jesus, he had a traditional Hebrew name. So what they did is they took his name out of the context of his national orientation and gave it some whole other shit, and that's how they was able to bury them there. Because they built a fucking straw man and redirected the attention of those people who were cognizant of what his national orientation was in the first place. And it's like motherfuckers do the same thing when you're building, or you say, you know, they dealing with this math, or they dealing with this culture. They deal with a lot of redirections of what you say.
Well, I think the beautiful part about what this is in general, everything, cats who dealing with, you know, I think politically correct type NGE type math and that shit. I think the beautiful thing in general, period, is that what we're dealing with altogether is getting out there. You know what I mean? Whether it's alphabet, and see, this is the beauty. It's a beauty there, because a distinction is going to be drawn between universal family and what's universal family, God. So nothing comes before my universal family. If a cat ain't feeling God, he's not me. I do the knowledge right there. You know what I mean? If you drawing this math up, since said God, I take a power, I save you mathematically. You know what I mean? So if that's our language, you know what I mean? If we speak mathematics, if that's our tongue, if that's what we use to describe the world, you know what I mean? And you see somebody else who's the living embodiment of that word, that's like what the Sunni says, La ilaha illallah. They say there is no God but Allah. When you see that, you be like, oh shit, the motherfucker real. That motherfucker real. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something, God. I'm going to tell you, it was my first parliament. Damn near wisdom cycle years ago, right? So I go up there, you know, and everything, and I only had like equality cipher degrees under cap. I only had approximately 60 years ago. That's just where I was at. And I go up there, I'm like, you know, making sure everything's sharp, just damn near mumbling to myself, looking crazy and shit. So I'm sitting in the motherfucking auditorium of Harriet Tubman, right? And the God Freedom Papa Wu come down there. It's some other cat building in front of the stage, and Papa Wu come down there, and he say, I make rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. He just, and when I saw that, God, I was like, yo, fuck that. That's how I'm bringing math all day, every fucking day. I'm bringing it like, yo, you gotta be the embodiment of that word. If you saying you Allah, be Allah. You know what I mean? Ain't no fucking be bullshit. And so I fucking, yo, God, I got into the current of saying I want to deal with causation. I want to cause. You know what I mean?
So how you see God don't deal with no emotion?
Well, I mean, you know, I think like what was interesting in the book, the God, you know, you said, we said, the God, be God, Allah said, you got to go through it to rise above it, man. So Wisdom Coaching Cypher is 240 because you in motion like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? You in motion and you using, you measuring it with Knowledge Wisdom Cypher. You know what I mean? And so that's understanding the equality of the cipher. So you got to go through the Wisdom Coaching Cipher. As far as not dealing with no emotion, I see that as like,
that's spot math and shit.
No, you. There's a point where you have to figure out how to deal with some degree of objectivity. So I see that in the Wisdom Cipher. I see that in the Wisdom Knowledge degree. Wisdom Cipher miles outside of the holy city of Mecca. You know what I mean? He's doing the knowledge. He's a scientist who's born there, and the scientist must maintain a certain degree of what? Objectivity. So yes, with emotion is definitely present. It always hits us, it always touches us, no matter what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? We see, love, hell, or right is an organic process. You gotta go through that shit. So you know, you gonna go through some shit. You tell me a motherfucker who ain't go through no hell, I'm saying, yo, well, that's a pussy ass motherfucker. Cause hell show and prove a love. You feel me? The understandability we say, then why they God make devil? To show forth his power. You know what I mean? So, right, what's up? So you gotta go through some hell with this shit. You feel me? To get this fucking man right, God. And yo, man, I just see, like, I think what it is, man, it's, you know, what I said was beautiful is that Allah is God of earth and heavens. Earth and heavens, he just and true. Ain't no unrighteous in him, but he is not unseen, for he is seen and heard everywhere, for he is the all-eye-seeing. Those, it's cats, they are family, God. They just manifest this math how he manifests this math. But universal family is like, yo, when I know my universal family when I'm feeling the motherfucker feeling me, be like, yo, that's self like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's some motherfuckers you can get up around and be like, nigga, you ain't self.
I been official, big dog in the yard, voted most likely to murder every birthday I start. So as soon as